What's up, Buttercups? Hope you guys are having an amazingly golden day with cherries on top today. If this is your first time watching, my name is Elvis. You are watching the Golden Drive, and that is my 1976 Jaguar XJS. And it previously had a V12, but we took the V12 out and we're replacing it with something way more reliable, an LS V8 engine. And I hope to make this my summer cruiser. And so in this video, we are going to be getting the engine bay clean, super clean the engine bay, because I want to make this engine bay look really nice. Since we took out V12, there's a lot of things that we're not going to use in that car as well. So I'm going to be able to cut off all the brackets that we don't need and giving it a whole new paint job. So I'm excited for that. So if you guys are excited, stay tuned in this video because it's going to be awesome. But first, we have to power wash this whole engine bay because it is grimy, it is dirty. I'll show you guys what it looks like. And ta-da, you guys are sitting with me in the engine bay. There are so many wires here, so many things that I don't need. There's lots of hoses that I'm probably not gonna use until I'm gonna try to strip out pretty much all of those and just make this as clean as possible. So with that said, let us get started.
To start, I disconnected the wires that I didn't need, taped off the rest of the wires and hoses, and it was time for power washing. After getting the engine bay wet, it was time to spray some degreaser to help loosen up half a century's worth of grease and grime. After power washing, I found multiple rust spots which I had to take care of. This one on the bottom of the car wasn't that bad compared to the next one, which you'll be seeing soon.
This is kind of what it looks like right now. It doesn't look the best, but it's gonna look glorious when we're done. I still need to do that though. Look at that. Like just, like this whole thing is just soft. Like, you feel it? Look, you can hear it. Like I could poke my hand. So gross.
This spot kept getting worse the further I dug into it.
I think what we'll do is we'll just lay masking tape out on this whole surface.
Yeah?
And we'll capture the shape with the masking tape. We'll translate that onto the cardboard, do a couple of bend lines, and we'll see how well that fits to see how that translates.
Yeah.
And then we'll take that information back to the big shop.
Sweet.
Transfer it all into sheet metal, and then it should be pretty straightforward. We have a main template to make. Then we're gonna make a template off of this profile right here from the side view, so we can capture this information. Then we'll also make a template over here in the corner and capture this bend information here.
Yeah.
So with those three templates, we should be able to make it in steel. I'm just gonna try to get that edge right into that corner. It's only translates so well. And then you put that into cardboard. Doesn't have to be that way. Thought we were supposed to be pals. How did I end up in here?
I don't know.
How did I get here?
I don't know. You're like, oh, I'm gonna help you with this.
I'm gonna have to start rethinking my life decisions.
I know. You're like, oh, let me help you with it. I'm like, sure.
Hey,
And you've ended up in there instead of me.
Did you ask me to help you just because I'm smaller than you?
Oh my gosh.
Because I can understand.
Nah.
Okay, we'll just trim this off. Just to come. Yep. It's quite satisfying.
It is. It really is satisfying.
Okay. Here's our template. We know that this is a straight line across here. That's a bend angle that is determined by one of our templates. So we don't even need to write anything on here. We just know that.
Yep.
But we do know that that's a straight line right there. So what I'll do is I'll measure from here to here, and then I'll just make a couple of marks on here, and we'll set that on those marks. And then we'll start our layout from that point. Those are bend points that we got from this. So
After we got the bend points figured out, it was time to start bending the metal into shape using the absolutely massive 20-ton brake press. We also used the bead roller with a tipping die to help with giving more shape to the sheet metal. Then we used a hammer and dolly to fine-tune the shape even more, using the cardboard cutout as a template. Once we had gotten the right shape, we began working on the second filler panel for the bottom of the car. This one was a lot easier. Decided to test fit the first panel that we made, and using Cleco pins to hold it on, I'm happy to report that it fit perfectly.
okay, look at that.
That's perfect, actually.
That looks good.
So the next step was enlarging the hole we had cleaned up earlier so we could bond the new panel on. Sprayed some primer on the back of the new panel so it wouldn't rust from the inside, leaving a perimeter around the flange for the panel bond. We didn't weld it on because that would require us taking apart the whole dash to make sure we didn't catch the car on fire. And we didn't want to deal with the hassle, so we used panel bond instead. It's cleaner, it'll seal great, and lots of modern cars use panel bond to hold the cars together. Once the panel bond had dried, I had some more cleanup to do since I'm going to be painting this thing. I moved more wires and hoses out of the way, used the wire wheel to clean up some surface rust, and then used the sandpaper to scuff the engine bay so the paint could stick. And then it was time for masking. Once the masking was done, I got some primer and paint and went to town. And with that, the engine bay is ready to receive the LS motor. So stay tuned for the next episode because it's going to be a fun one. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in the next video.